All right. I love that song so much. And it's the perfect opener to our masterclass, Unshakable Confidence, Overcome Imposter Syndrome, and Create a Confident Life You Love. I'm so glad that you're here. And I know that there are many people that are joining us for the replay. So if you're joining us for the replay, I'm so glad you're here. Way to go investing in you. My intention today is that after we spend this time together, you are going to feel unshakable confidence. And you'll leave this masterclass together today with 7 keys to really create unshakable confidence, overcome imposter syndrome, overcome self doubt, and feel more empowered to create a life that you absolutely love. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. I personally believe that self confidence is absolutely key to success. And it's easy to say that, but how do we actually develop unshakable confidence so that we can achieve what's important to us? So, you might be here or watching the masterclass because you've been feeling some sort of self doubt creep in. Maybe you have a dream or a vision or a goal that's important to you, and you're starting to wonder, is this really for me? Am I really capable of this? Maybe you have a new initiative, a new project that you're working on, and you can feel imposter syndrome kicking in, asking yourself, can I really do this? Or, and this is what I relate to, maybe you've had kick ass self confidence in the past and you know what it feels like to be on top of your game. Waking up with enthusiasm, walking into every room that you enter filled with confidence, and something just knocked you off your game, knocked you off your feet. And so, if you're like that and you're feeling like a little bit of your confidence is gone and you just want to recapture that, no matter where you are today, know that you are in the right and perfect spot. So go ahead and pull out your notebook and your favorite pen that you love to write with. There's energy in the written words. I'm going to encourage you to pull out an actual piece of paper and an actual, maybe your favorite colored pen or marker to journal on. And the first question we're going to ask ourselves is, what would your life look like if you had 10 times more confidence? What would your life look like if you had 10 times more confidence? What would it look like in your career, in your marriage, in your relationship, in your pursuit of being a badass woman? What would it look like? What would it feel like if your life had 10 times more confidence? So I'll invite you just to take a minute to journal on that question. What would it look like if I had 10 times more confidence? Just take a minute now. What would it feel like to have 10 times more confidence in health, in money, in your body, in your mindset? Write that down. What would it look like if you had 10 times more confidence? How far could you go? All right, finish that last sentence that you're on. All right. So you've had a chance to think about what your life would look like with 10 times more confidence. And I believe that we can go much further, much faster with amplified, unshakable self confidence. And that's why you're here today, right? So if I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, my name's Dana Hunter Fradella, and I live in New Orleans. I'm a transformational coach in career, in relationships, in business and in life. And my company's name is Girls Who Recover. The mission of that company is to help women transform their lives so that they can live confident lives that they love in the areas that matter the most. And you'll see my sweet family there. I have 3 young daughters, Ava, Audrey, and Alyssa, 9, 7, and now 4. And of course, my sweet husband, Brent, who's next to me in that picture. And I recently went full time as a transformational coach. And I wanted to speak to why I did that. What is the fire behind what I do, why I'm even here teaching about confidence, why I am relentless in the pursuit of helping women transform their lives. And I want to invite you to watch a 2-minute video, a really quick explanation about why I do this work. And hopefully you'll be able to relate to what you see. So I'll play the video. And as you watch, I want you to just notice what your body feels like, what you think of, and how you feel as you're watching this video. Oops.
Let's talk about the dream gap. What's that?
It's the gap that comes between girls and their full potential.
You see, starting at age 5, girls stop believing they can be presidents, scientists, astronauts, big thinkers, engineers, CEOs, and the list goes on. Why? Because what else are we going to believe when by age 7, we're more likely to think that boys are smarter than us? That's ridiculous. When we are 3 times less likely
To be given a science-related toy.
That's sad. And when our parents are twice as likely to Google, is my son gifted? Then is my daughter gifted? That's not cool. We need to see brilliant women being brilliant and see how they got to where they are. To imagine ourselves doing what they do. But we can't do it alone. Moms, dads, brothers, and bosses. We need all of you to help. We need to close the dream gap. It's up to all of us.
I love that video so much. And I'm grateful to be able to share it with you. And hopefully, it's added a little bit of spark to your longing to build your own confidence. And I show the picture of my 3 daughters here because I want them to know that whatever they dream is absolutely possible, especially because they are a girl. What I've found though in my work with adult women is something happens to us when we go from 4 to 7 to 9 to 12 to 16 to 26 to 40s to 50s to 60s, and that dream gap closes and it closes and it closes. And we live in a much more limited version of ourselves, and our dreams get smaller and smaller and smaller. So that is my why. I am here to expand the dreams for adult women, to remind us who we are and that anything is possible, and that you deserve to live a life that you absolutely love. So that is why I'm here. And a little bit about me before we get into the tools for unshakable confidence is I had a bunch of self-confidence. I remember thinking I went to a fancy school and I knew I was good looking and I kept myself in good shape and I had good friendships. And I knew I was going to be somebody. I knew I was. And so I worked my way up after school in my career, and I was at the top of my career before I was even 30. And I had this role as a principal of my dream school in my mid-20s. And I thought to myself, man, I have made it. I've made it. I love this. I love this life. I love this job. But the problem was, I also had some really big personal issues that got in the way of my own success. And so I lost that job, and it was devastating to me. And it took me what seems like forever to get back up again. The story is much longer than that, but I want you to know that I started feeling like I had a ton of self-confidence and then made some decisions that knocked me off the confidence box. And it took me a while to recognize and use some of the tools I'm sharing with you today to elevate that unshakable confidence. And I'm here today as a testament that it's absolutely possible. And I'm going to share some keys on how to do that. So without further ado, I have been studying the principles of transformation and confidence since 2002. So over 20 years. And I've been studying this and practicing it and using it both in my long career in education and in my extensive experience in coaching. And I love this work. I hope you can feel that. So here are 7 tools, and you might get some bonus ones. I could barely contain it in 7 tools to build unshakable confidence, right? And unshakable confidence is different than just like, yeah, I'm confident. It's the kind that no matter what happens, maybe you're in an argument with somebody you love, maybe you get some feedback at work, maybe you fail at something, maybe you're experiencing challenges, but you have developed this type of confidence that no matter what, it is unshakable. So here are some tools to make that happen. And I'm only sharing with you a few of the ones in the toolkit that I use with the women that I coach. And all of us, every woman who's ever come to me, and I feel like the word imposter syndrome is a more new expression, but all imposter syndrome is self-doubt, maybe worry, maybe self-questioning, who am I to do this thing? To even the most incredible women I've ever met suffer from this imposter syndrome. So to conquer that, to dissolve imposter syndrome, we've got to build unshakable confidence. So let's dive in. And as we go through each tool, I want you to be asking yourself, okay, why is unshakable confidence important to me? What's on the line for you today? Why did you show up or watch this masterclass? Why? Like, what's on the line for you when it comes to unshakable confidence? Is it your marriage? Is it your career? Is it your role as a friend? Is it your relationship with your kids? Is it your relationship with money? Is it just the way you feel about your body, yourself, your mind, your spirit, the way you show up for yourself in the world? What's on the line for you? Why is this important? Why are you here? And I want you to keep that with you as we move through this confidence. I'm going to give you a ton of tools, 7 plus some bonus ones, and a lot more information. So I want you to be taking notes, especially answering the question, why is this important? So the first question is, if I gave you a wand, and actually I never go anywhere without my wand. So here it is. I'm going to pass it to you. Bam, pick it up. And I'm wanding you with 10 times more confidence. And I want to know, and if you're live, I want you to put this in the chat. And if you're on the replay, I want you to write it down. What would it be the first thing you used it for? If you had 10 times more confidence, let me know what you would use that confidence for. Because confidence really is the key that allows us to show up for life. And it drives the way that we show up in the world. Okay, so I see marriage. And I see career. Yeah, same. Marriage and career right here. In relationships. Yeah, and not just relationships with partners, but when we think about confidence I'm a mom of small kids, and I'm like, I have to have confidence when it comes to facing the team. You know, they need me to be confident in my marriage and speaking up for what I need, confident in my work to be able to host a masterclass and do something I've never done before. So I need that every day. And so I'm glad that you're here. And so I hope you'll pick up your wand and wand yourself with these 7 tools. So folks with low self-confidence, and I'll just say women, okay, because I only coach women. I feel like I've specialized just based on my own experience being a woman. What I've learned is confidence it's key. When we are confident, we move towards people and towards opportunities and towards new experiences. But when we lack confidence or we're suffering with imposter syndrome, we're more likely to back away from people or opportunities or resources or try new things or reach out to people or do scary things. And our bar gets lower and lower and lower as our confidence shifts down. So when we have the bar set too low, we don't take any action. And the result of inaction is more self-doubt and more worry and more imposter syndrome. So it's like we're paralyzed with low confidence. And confidence isn't something we're born with, okay? That's why we're here. We're taking a class on how do we build confidence. I'm coming out of the box a little bit. So when we don't take action though, we start to feel regret and we look back and say, I wish I would have done that, or what if I would have done that? And we change the way that we see ourselves. We dial ourselves down. But when we have confidence, we dial ourselves up. We feel more successful. We feel more ambitious. We feel more excited, which leads to success. So I want to let you in on the core of what I do. It's like the secret formula for how to be successful. And this is something I really only reveal and coach through with my personal one-on-one clients. But since you're here today, I want to show it to you. And it's called the results formula. So as we go through each of the keys today, you're going to see how each of them relate to what I call the results formula. So right now, there's probably an area in your life where you want all the way at the start, new results. As long as we're breathing, as long as we're living, we have goals and we have dreams and we have things we want to accomplish. And so if we want to achieve new results, there's a formula for that. And we can apply this formula in our lives to get new results. And the formula goes like this. First, our thoughts or what we think impacts or creates the feelings that we have. So you see the trajectory. My thoughts affect my feelings or my emotions. My thoughts cause my feelings cause me to act. I act based out of feeling. I'm reading this book. I'm actually reading a book called Think and Grow Rich. And all the books on behavioral psychology suggest that we don't act from our rational minds. We act from our feelings. And it's not just women, although we slay at that. Our emotions and our feelings create the momentum and the rocket fuel for our actions. And what do our actions create? They create our results. A lot of time people look at their results and let their confidence rely on their results, when really the formula is we don't start by looking at our results. We start all the way at the beginning and we get in there with our thoughts and our feelings, shift our confidence dial up, take new actions, and we get results that mirror the internal confidence that we have. So this formula is super important for any type of change that you want to make in your life when we understand it. So think about it on the confidence spectrum. If you're thinking thoughts like, I don't belong, I'm not good enough, I really messed up here, I'm not okay, I'm not capable of doing that, that creates a feeling, an emotion, right? Self-doubt, low self-esteem. And when we're in that feeling, when we're in that emotion, we take certain actions or we take no action, or we behave in a certain way, or we carry ourselves in a certain posture. And those behaviors ultimately get us low confidence results. So the thoughts we're thinking are responsible for our results. It's so important. And no woman that I know, including me, has been trained in this. Most of us look at our circumstances. We're trained in the idea that we're an outside in world. We look at our results and we say, that's my cause. Well, it's because of my boss, or it's because of my shitty husband, or it's because of my whatever, because of we're in real estate too, because of the interest rates, because of the age, because of my weight, because of my education, because we think it's something on the outside of us that's getting us our results. But when we understand the magic, I'm bringing this wand out again, because it is, when you understand it, magical. When we begin to understand that we actually live in an inside out universe, and that the cause is a direct reflection of our thoughts, our thinking or our awareness, that becomes really empowering because I'm not a victim anymore to my conditions or my circumstances. I've got the channel in my mind and I can change the channel at any time. I become empowered for my thinking. I become empowered with my feelings. I become empowered and confident with my actions. And that gets me new results. And it all starts here. Touch your brain and say, I love you, brain. I love you, girl. So throughout this session, throughout these keys, you'll see how each of them relates back to this formula, primarily with how we're going to get in there and shift our thoughts and shift our feelings and shift our actions. So let's get to it. Key number 1 is celebrate versus compare. I'm going to have a drink of water and I want you to write that down. Celebrate versus compare. All right, celebrate versus compare. So if you want to build your confidence, you've got to move away from comparison into celebration. So let me say what that looks like. Have you ever walked into a room and you looked around and immediately you started comparing yourself? Maybe you came to this Zoom room and you compared yourself to who's here, or you went to church, or you went to a meeting, or you looking around like, what are they wearing? Does my hair look okay? A business meeting, maybe. Am I in the right place? Do I look confident enough? We use comparison and we think in this framework of comparing, right? You do this when we scroll social media. We do this when we see our friends in fabulous places with their perfect families, and that triggers us in disappointment, maybe that feeling of disappointment in your own results. And maybe you think, I should be further ahead of this. They're so much happier than I am. She's so much farther ahead. You see the perfect mom at the park, or a speaker giving a presentation, or a happy couple holding hands, and you look at them and you, instead of celebrating their success, you're triggered and you start comparing and you start going within, where all of a sudden you're thinking, I'm not as successful. I'm not as attractive. I'm never going to have a nice relationship. I'm not as talented. It can create jealousy, right? I'm not good enough. I'll never be able to achieve what I want. And sometimes it even moves to envy or resentment. That's when my stomach starts to hurt. My body tells me what's going on. And it's not that it's you're looking at them and saying they have what I want, or there's a feeling of insecurity, or I'll never measure up, or I don't deserve to have success. So as you're considering that our thoughts cause our feelings, cause our actions, cause our results, can you see how the thinking around comparison, when we're comparing ourselves, creates an emotion, which is going to create certain behaviors, which is going to lead to results that we probably don't want. And so the key, here's the key. Okay. I'm breaking out my wand, giving it to you. Bam. The key is notice what you're noticing about other people. And so when you see somebody who has what you want, who has a success, who's creating something in their lives that you'd love for yourself, you see that couple holding hands and they just look so in love, and that's something you want for you, you stop and you do a Jedi mental move. And instead of judging and comparing, you cheer them on. You celebrate them. You say, I'm so happy for them. And I would love that for myself as well. When you see somebody who has what you want in business, or in relationship, or in money, or on vacation, or with their kids, they got a promotion, you look at them, and instead of saying, I wish I had, you say, good job then. Good job, you, especially if it's a woman, because celebrating somebody else's success creates a different thought. And that creates a different pattern, which creates different emotions, which creates different behaviors. Nod your head if that makes sense to you. Yeah. Yeah. So the key for you, my friend, is to be willing to notice when you're in comparison. We're not judging ourselves. You're just noticing, oh man, I'm comparing myself right now. And you pause it and you shift that to celebration. So I want to give you a quick example of this. 2 years ago, I really wanted to buy a house. I really, really wanted to. And some friends of ours who we're close to, it was COVID time, so we didn't get to see them, but we followed everybody on social media. They bought they had had a baby, and they bought this beautiful house in this neighborhood that I really wanted to live in. And they put that picture on Instagram, and part of me felt like it was dying inside. I'm like, oh my gosh, How does she get to buy a house? That's not fair. I'm supposed to be buying a house. And so, you know what that did to my dial? It turned it way down and it really crushed self confidence. But then I was handed this tool. My coach suggested, what if you celebrated them? What if you celebrated her success? And initially that felt really uncomfortable. Like, why would I do that? But this work isn't designed to be comfortable. It's designed to give you unshakable confidence. So what I did was I took a breath, I got myself together, and I sent her a voice memo that said, "Girl, I am so excited for you. I'm celebrating you. I'm so proud of you for buying that house. You were such an inspiration to me. Can I drop you off a COVID pie?" COVID pie meaning like, a pie that you can't actually give them, but you can put on their porch. And just that move helped me build self-confidence, unshakable. So that's our first key. Celebrate versus compare. So what I'm going to ask you to do right now, I'm going to put on some quick music. I want you to write down 3 people in your life that you can celebrate. 3 people in your life that maybe have what you want, that you can send them a quick text or a quick voice memo and tell them that you are cheering them on. You see what they're doing and you are celebrating them. So grab your pen, grab your journal, write down those 3 people and a quick note about what you're going to say to them when you cheer them on. Maybe it's your sister. Maybe it's your boss. Maybe it's your random friend from high school who's in France right now. Write down their names. Write down what you're celebrating them for. Notice how it feels just to think about, hey, you know what? I'm about to reach out to this person and tell them what a badass they are. So I also want you to make a commitment that you're going to do that today. All 3 of them, you're doing it today, because why put off to tomorrow what we can do today, especially when you showed up to build unshakable confidence. So give yourselves a hand and we are moving on to key number 2. So key number 2 is to make your success list. Make your success list. Write it down. Make your success list. But to really build your confidence, one thing that you can do is to remember your past successes and write them down. You can mentally list them, but there is power and energy in writing something down. So write down your successes, remembering them. So when I was in that phase where my confidence was just crushed, I forgot things like, you know what? I went to Vanderbilt University and graduated with honors. You know what? I lived abroad in France. You know what? I became a teacher through alternatives. I did Teach for America. That's huge. It was so competitive back then. I know it is now. Hey, girl, do you remember you have a master's from Johns Hopkins? Do you remember that you've taught hundreds of kids and empowered them? Do you remember? Do you remember? Make your success list. So at the time, I didn't know the tool of making a success list. And so I stayed in a lot of shame for a long, long time. So I love this tool of making my success list, because what we're doing is just remembering who we are and what we've done. And who you are and the successes that you have are far beyond maybe what you can bring to mind right now. So when I'm feeling a low confidence now, what I do is I break out my notebook and I say, all right, Dana, you're going to write for 3 minutes on all the successes that you've had. Okay. So I'll write down things like, I've been married for 10 years. That feels like a really big deal. Marriage has been a lot of work for us. I have 3 beautiful daughters. I birthed 3 beautiful daughters. I bought a house. I helped my husband start a real estate business. I changed my whole career trajectory to serve my purpose and my passion. I have been successful. And when I write those things down, I remember who I am. My energy goes up, my thoughts go up, my feelings go up, and I'm willing to take different actions. But it's almost like we, especially women, get amnesia when we're trying new things. And this part of me, especially even recently when I transitioned from corporate education America to full-time transformational coach, there was a part of me that's like, who are you to do this? And forgetting anything that I had ever accomplished, because basically I'm starting from scratch again. And if you can relate to that, just this feeling like I've forgotten all of my successes and I've forgotten who I am, just in situations maybe where you're experiencing fear or trying something new, give me a little emoji. You can raise your hand on the replay if you relate to that. Yeah. Yeah. And so when we're in that kind of thinking, we remember our thinking creates our feelings and our actions. But when I make my success list, I remember I've had successes. You've created results in your life that are incredible. And whether they're directly related to your new goal or not, whether they're related to your new dreams or your hopes or dreams or not, it doesn't matter. You've had successes, you've created results. And so we're going to take another minute here, and I'm going to invite you to pick up your pen again and your journal. And you're going to build your unshakable confidence in this moment, because building confidence is an in this moment activity. It's not a let's do it later, it's let's do it now activity. So you're going to pick up your pen, you're going to break out your journal, and you're going to support yourself by remembering the successes that you've had right now. We're going to take 1 minute to do that. Go ahead and begin. What successes have you had just this month? All right, go ahead and get your one more success down. We are just getting a taste of all the good tools that are at your disposal. And if you're willing to, those of you who are here live, drop a success in the chat. And if you're watching on the replay, just notice how that elevated your energy, how when you just for a minute wrote down some of the things that you accomplished, you started to feel differently. Your energy started to raise a little bit. Maybe you started to feel a little bit more empowered, right? Oh, yeah, I've done that. I've accomplished that. Yeah. So someone started their own LLC. Yeah, that's a big deal. When I did that too, I was like, yes, I'm a business owner. I love that. I felt so proud. And I did it with a coach because I had no idea what I was doing. So that was super helpful. Awesome. So you've got your success list, and paying attention to that when your self-doubt starts to creep in, you're going to remind yourself who you are and say, I have success. I have success here. I have done things before. I can do hard things now. I can learn new things. And I use those past successes as a springboard for what I'm trying to accomplish now. You've got a new vision, a new goal. You're trying something new, and it's going to require you to leave comfort zone, leave your comfort zone. So as you're uncomfortable out of your comfort zone, I want you to bring to mind your success list. Okay. And that will really increase and boost your self-confidence so that it becomes unshakable. And so I wanted to share a quick testimony from one of my very first clients, Christina. who says, working with Dana changed my life because it changed me. I went from constantly beating myself down and shaming myself for my behaviors or perceived failures to finding gratitude in everything around me. Yeah, there's so much confidence, potential, and gratitude. She says she taught me to quiet my mind and find that inner peace so I could finally trust myself and gain the confidence I so desperately needed to trust God and the universe. She goes on to say nothing is unobtainable. Oh, that should say unobtainable or unfathomable. And through her guidance and leadership, I've stepped into the biggest shoes I've ever filled, my own, and I walk in them proudly. So making a success list with Christina was such a blast, and it's something that we do as a part of my transformational coaching. So, moving on, you have learned to make your success list. Check that off. Go ahead and grab your pen and write down key number 3, which is using powerful affirmations. And so, at the beginning of this class, I think I shared I'm currently rereading the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's a legacy book, it's a canon. He wrote that book almost 90 years ago and researched some of the most successful people on the planet at this time. And sadly, they were all men, but the principles transfer over. And so I love knowing that there's a code to success, and he outlines it. And those people who were experiencing success did some specific things. And one of those things that he writes about is the power of auto-suggestion. The power of auto-suggestion. Now, the term auto-suggestion is a little bit outdated and it's not used as much anymore. What we call it today is affirmation. Affirmation. But what affirmations are is creating a dialogue that's happening in my mind and impressing my subconscious mind ideas and messages that ultimately impacts my confidence, how I see myself, how I feel about myself, which ultimately gets me the results that I have. So science and research tell us that when we practice affirmations, when we practice positive self-talk, that power of auto-suggestion reinforces positive neural pathways and creates new ones in our brains, which again, those neural pathways allow us to have an upgraded self-image and unshakable confidence, which plays out in the results in our lives. So the power of affirmations is that it reinforces new beliefs. It's like learning a new language. And I'm going to be honest with you, when I hear the word affirmation sometimes, in my head, I'm like, wah, wah, wah. It feels really frilly and lame. But when I read Napoleon Hill talk about auto-suggestion, I don't know why, but I'm more attracted to that language of what we're doing is we are giving suggestions to our own minds, and we won't change until our subconscious minds believe them. Believe those suggestions. And we're always talking to ourselves. I don't know about you, but I got a lot going on. I'm always talking to myself, and affirmations are intentional suggestions for self-talk, the way we talk and feel about ourselves. So in a second, I'm going to invite you to write down an affirmation for your own success. And I'm going to share with you how to use that affirmation right here in this moment. So it's not some lame thing that you write on a note card. It's actually something that can change the way you see yourself. And remember, the way we see ourselves impacts the actions we take, impacts our results. So everything I want is really contingent on the way I'm training my mind. So if you've zoned out, I want you to come on back to me and pick up your pen, because we are about to reprogram some limiting beliefs that we have to create a more positive self-image. So here are some examples of affirmations you might consider. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. I'm working on money right now, and mine is every day in every way, I'm getting richer and richer, wealthier and wealthier, more prosperous and more prosperous. I'm more blessed and more blessed. Another one is I am living a life I love, or I love seeing my confidence grow every single day. The next one is I deserve everything I desire. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. One might be I'm confident, I'm strong, I'm successful. Another one I love, and I've been using this one a lot, is I'm compassionate with myself and my growth. And my favorite one is all I need is within me now. All I need is within me now. And you can add to that all the success I need, all the joy I need, all the love I need, all the money I need. Pick a word to insert there, but everything I need is within me now to accomplish my goals and my dreams. I have it right here and now. And why is that true? Because our results are a reflection of our thoughts. Remember, we live in an inside out world, and my thoughts are creating my results. So I want you to take a minute here, and I'd like you to choose one affirmation that you can use again and again. Maybe you want to take one of these. Maybe you want to make up your own affirmation, but I want you to, when you write it down, to be willing to work with that affirmation for 40 days in to support you and build your confidence. So take 1 minute and I want you to write down one affirmation here or within you that you're going to be working with for the next 40 days. 1 minute. Let's start now. Everything I desire. All I need is within me now. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Love it. All right, go ahead and finish up your affirmation. And before we move on to the next tool, I want to speak into making these affirmations actually work for you and not be as lame as I thought they were. Okay, so here are some keys. Number one, you have to feel the affirmation. And at the beginning, your mind is going to be like, that's not true. Stop it. And you're going to say to your mind, hey, listen, it's about to be. So hang on, hold your horses. I'm going to say this affirmation over and over and over. There's power when you look in the mirror and say that affirmation over and over and over. There's power in speaking it, there's power in writing it. And the most power comes from feeling it. From feeling it. So please don't say, oh, I'm living a life I love. Wah, wah. That is not going to work. You are never going to live a life you love if you're coming at it like that. Remember, thoughts create feelings, and we want to rocket fuel the power of our affirmation by infusing feelings. So notice, I'm living a life I love versus I am living a life I love. I'm living a life I love. I'm living a life I love. And I want you to know I practiced that one, okay? But that's not how it sounds the first 100 times. And the reason we want you to practice that for 40 days is because there is power in the number 40. It's the transformational number. So saying it multiple times a day, preferably with feeling, preferably in the mirror, what are you feeding your mind? You get to decide what to say to yourself. So I encourage you to use affirmations and rocket fuel them with feelings so that your whole life changes as a result of your thoughts and feelings. The other thing you can do to make this extra powerful is to use your body and give yourself a power pose. So you can say something like, I'm living a life I love. Or you can say, I'm living a life I love. If I had a bigger screen, I would just throw my arms out and say, I'm living a life I love. Yes, I am. And I love this power pose here. You may have seen this on the internet this advice that is carry yourself with the confidence of a girl holding a massive owl. And I swear that could be one of my kids. Okay. So Amy Cuddy in her research talks about the power of power posing. So in that way, when you do that, you are immediately boosting your confidence and immediately affecting how you feel about yourself. So whether or not your camera is on, whether or not you are here live or watching the replay, I want you to pause, look at your affirmation and say it out loud with feeling using your power pose. Do it now. I am in love with my life. I am getting better and better every single day. Go ahead, make your power pose and say that affirmation with feeling. Yes, I'm feeling that from the screen and I'm cheering you on. And so let's move to key number 4, which is a scary one. It's one that holds most people back, but you're here to learn it today and you're here to practice it today. So key number 4 to unshakable confidence is act before you're ready. Do it before you're ready. And this is one of the biggest stumbling blocks I see with my clients and with women in general. And it's one of the things that gets in our way of our confidence and our success. It's really easy to feel like I'm going to do that thing when I feel more ready, when I have more time, when I have all the experience and the education and the money put away, when I've got it all figured out, then I'm going to do the thing in my dream. But here's the thing about confidence is that confidence comes from competence. I'll say it again. Confidence comes from competence. So think about something you're really good at. I know I've got some really smart women on the phone. I think I have a nurse on the phone. Yes. So think about you got really good at nursing. You got really good at speaking. You got really good at playing a musical instrument. You got really good at baking or flirting or whatever it is that you're really good at now. You're highly skilled in that area. So you feel competent. You feel a level of expertise, which gives you confidence in that area. So if you're a nurse or a doctor and you are working with patients because you've been trained to do that, you're coming in with a level of confidence. Nod your head if that's true for you. Yeah. Yeah. Now remember to back when you were a beginner student, a beginner musician, a beginning mom. Oh my gosh, beginning mom, that was a lot, okay? But you didn't always feel that way when you first started the thing. When you allowed yourself to be a beginner. Allow ourselves to be a beginner. So confidence comes from competence, and competence comes from doing the thing and taking the action. And so there's this competence loop that becomes really key. So if you're waiting until you're ready, if you're waiting for the stars to align, if you're waiting for all the things, if you're waiting to feel like you're confident, feel like you're ready, you are always going to be waiting. I know that from experience. I wanted to start my coaching business 5 or 6 years ago, but I was waiting until I was ready. And so, how do we shake that and become unshakably confident? We do it by doing it before we're ready. And one more thing that we do is what I like to call MIA, massive imperfect action. And what that does, imperfect action after imperfect action after imperfect action, is it moves the energy. It sends out signals that say, hey, I can do hard things. I can do hard things. And sometimes it's just being bold for 20 seconds. And when we're bold for 20 seconds, we can approach that person, we can make that phone call, we can sign up for the class, we can schedule the confidence masterclass. It's a 20-second move that can literally create huge results. So acting before you're ready is key number 4, because confidence comes from competence, and we develop competence by taking action. So I want you to hear from Jessica. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So I want you to hear from Jessica. And Jessica is one of my recent VIP clients. She is also a school leader who came to me because she wanted to transform some areas in her life. And she decided as a result of our coaching to take action in spite of feeling ready. She decided to invest financially in coaching, even though she didn't feel ready to do that. She decided to dedicate the time to coaching, even though she didn't feel ready to do that. that. She decided to launch her own coaching business and host her own first set of clients before she felt ready to do that. And so I'll just read one section of what she said. She said, the confidence this coaching program has given me has allowed me to become a brave thinker and a brave action taker. And I've started my own business and I'm on my way to building a life I love. And so she says, thank you, Dana, for giving me the confidence. And I didn't give her anything. I just gave her the tools and she built her own confidence. And now she lives her life by design. And Sarah, I'm going to take just a second to address your comment. And so she says, the part I struggle with is the rejection after the action. And I'm having some personal experience in that now because, you know, when you start a new business and you're approaching people with what you do, you get a lot of ghosting, you get a lot of no thank you. I'm sure behind my back, they're saying, what is she doing? Who's she? And you know what? I'm not interested in their yes or their no because the outcome isn't on me. I'm not in charge of the outcome. And so whether it's a yes or whether it's a no is not up to me. What is up to me is building the confidence to make the ask, building the confidence to try, building the confidence to fail and then be like, yo, girl, you failed. But you know what that means? You're in the game. You're in the game. And so many women want to do things, but they're not brave enough to experience rejection. And yeah, rejection's hard. It sucks. I definitely have cried a lot since starting this business because I want people to like me and I want to be successful. But what I've realized is that I have a dream. It's a crystal clear vision of the kind of woman and the kind of business I want to have and run and be. And that woman is unshakable. So she's ready for the no, she's ready for the yes. And truthfully, and I'm sorry, this isn't on here, but I'm going to break them all and give you the biggest key to action is that I have a meaningful, intimate, powerful relationship with a power greater than me. And that is the foundation for my confidence. And that is infused in every key I'll ever give, in every conversation I'll ever have, in every light I'll ever shine. Because when I remember who I am and whose I am, I'm equipped with the tools to experience anything. And so rejection, when I see it, is really just feedback for me to try something else. Not this way, Dana, try something else. Not that way, Dana, try something else. And I will never fail until I give up. Never. And believe me, I'm a professional failer. I fail all the time. I failed a lot. I failed today a bunch of times, but I don't let that water in my ship. And if I don't let the water in my ship, I will not drown. Will not drown. My earphones are coming out. I'm out the box right now. But that's how I experience rejection is yes, it hurts my feelings. And then I remember who I am and whose I am, and I keep going. And that's exactly, I love Jessica's on screen because she has the same kind of relationship and we develop an intensity with that relationship with the power greater than ourselves, spirit or God or whatever's beating your heart or breathing your breath as a foundation for transformation. It's required. Okay, so key number 4 is do it before you're ready. And so I want you to take your pen and your journal, and I want you to list one action step that will move you forward. The one that you're like, you know what, I'm not ready to do this. And it's okay. I'm not asking you to take it. I'm just asking you to write it down. So open your journal. You know what your dream is. You know what your goal is. And I want you to list an action step. Now, if you get more, that's fine. Nobody's committing or making you do anything, except for I'm inviting you to write down that action step. What's one step you can take that will move you forward? Maybe you don't feel ready for it, and that's okay. But you know that if you took that action, it would move you forward. All right, you got your action? Hands up if you got your action. This is just the beginning, okay? Now, next to the action step, I want you to write down by when you're going to take it. By when are you going to take that action step? Will you do it today, right after this class? Will you do it for you and your dream by the end of today? What about the end of this week? Write down the date and time by when you will take that action step. It might be before you're ready, and that's okay. That's the whole point of this key is taking the action step before you feel ready and knowing that your confidence will grow as you take these imperfect after imperfect after imperfect steps, not waiting until you're ready. We act now. And remember, enough baby steps will get you across the world. Okay. Brava, my friend, we've done key 4 and we're moving quickly to the rest of the keys for our masterclass. So key 5 is celebrating success along the way. So key number 1 was celebrating the successes that you see in other people. And key number 5 is celebrating your own successes along the way. And here is a foundational principle of my coaching program. What you pay attention to matters, because it impacts your thoughts and your feelings and your actions and your results. What you pay attention to, what you focus on matters. And so many times we pay more attention to what's not going right and what we didn't get done on our list than we do on what is going right and all the things that we are doing. So what we focus on matters, and training ourselves to celebrate even the smallest win, the smallest success, is transformational and shifts the game for you. It shifts the way you think, it shifts the way you feel, it shifts the actions that you're willing to take, and ultimately will shift your results. So you're going to start looking for your successes. And I want you to think about one success that you accomplished just today. Just today. One success was I figured out how to screen share Canva. I've never done before. Small stuff. And you look for more progress, and you look for the wins, and you look for the things that you're on the way to achieving. And you look maybe at your goal and you're not there, but you look at it and you say, you know what? I'm not there yet. It hasn't happened yet, but I'm on my way. I'm celebrating me. I'm grateful for this. I'm proud of me for this. And what I focus on gets bigger. So when I focus on my successes and I'm focusing on what I'm proud of, that creates a feeling. A good feeling if I'm focusing on what I'm successful at, even the small ones, and another kind of feeling when I focus on negative emotions and things that haven't happened and maybe lack and scarcity, or it's all about where I focus. So celebrating your successes along the way. And I want to give you a quick analogy before moving to the next one. And that is, let's say you want to grow a big oak tree. Now we're Louisiana. Let's do magnolia tree. So you take a magnolia tree seed and you go in your garden, you plant the seed. And then you come back 24 hours later and you look and there's nothing there. And you jump up and down and say, why isn't anything happening? I wanted an oak tree and all there is a little tiny sprout. Well, you wouldn't look at your sprout and say, you're terrible. I don't want that sprout, and jump on it, stomp on it. You wouldn't say, I wanted an oak tree. What happened? You would know that because you planted that sprout and you cared for it, that magnolia tree or oak tree, whatever tree you're planting, is on its way. You would already know. It's the same with our dreams and our visions. Even though we haven't accomplished it yet, we got to know that it's on the way. We're not going to stomp on it or dig it up, because just like planting a tree, we're developing a knowing that there's a process that happens in transformation. And instead of stomping on the seedling or stomping on the sprout, we celebrate the seedling and we celebrate the sprout and we celebrate our successes. And the more we celebrate, the more we see to celebrate, right? Maybe you're celebrating big things right now, a graduation or a wedding or a birthday party, or about like whatever you're celebrating. I'm not talking about those big successes. I'm talking about, hey girl, you got to brush your teeth today. Hey girl, you have clothes on today. For me, it's like, oh, I got earrings on today. That's good. So what can I celebrate myself today? And I love Karen. She's one of my newest clients, and she loves celebrating the smallest wins. And she says that after one session with me, she was able to move beyond her fears and doubts about taking a really big trip And now that she's had 4 sessions and she's able to see her fears and have them acknowledged, move through them and celebrate all the successes that I've experienced along the way, I can do things I didn't believe I can do. And she started that by small successes. So love you, Karen. If you're here, if you're seeing this, awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so we've got 2 keys left. I'm going to move quickly to key number 6. But before that, I want you to think about a success that you have, okay? If we had a little bit more time, you can pause the video if you're watching the replay, write down one success that you've had today. So key number 6 is a powerhouse key, and that is, if you want unshakable confidence, you get to be of service. If you want unshakable confidence, you get to be of service. And so research shows us, and my own experience shows us, that when we are of service, when we are helping others, we're creating more confidence to ourselves, for ourselves. When we show up, when we serve, we feel better. We think less about ourselves and our own fears and worries, and we shift our focus onto helping others. And this is something we become masters of in building unshakable confidence. So all of my clients are tasked with being what we call a woman of increase, which means we go to every situation, every conversation, every experience and ask questions like, how can I serve here? How can I add value to this situation? How can I help this person? And in doing that, we develop a confidence that is truly unshakable. And you know this, you're a part of other groups, maybe a church or a synagogue or a community organization, a Greek organization, maybe a sorority. Everything is founded on service. And of course, the whole recovery movement is founded on helping others. So key number 6 is to be of service, asking, how can I add value? How can I serve in this way? And I want you to grab your pen and write down 3 ways you can be of service. 3 ways you can be of service this week, and how. 3 ways you can be of service this week and how. So maybe it's calling a sick friend. Maybe it's giving somebody a ride to a meeting. Maybe it's volunteering for your organization or your church. Maybe this is my favorite way for people to be of service to me, is to watch my kids. So maybe you can watch your friend's kids for a couple of hours so she can have a nap or get a massage. Whatever it is, I want you to write down 3 ways that you're going to be of service this week. And I want you to send me an email or a message and tell me how being of service this week helped you create your own unshakable confidence. It is impossible to be in service and have low confidence. It's not possible. You cannot have both things at once. So keep me posted on that. And as we round the corner, we are going to our 7th and final key, which is to create a powerful vision. And this one is essential. If you want unshakable confidence, you got to have a powerful vision for a life that you love. And it really is the one that pushed me over the edge to being sometimes confident, mostly confident in certain situations, to unshakably confident. This is the power tool. And we do this by asking the simple question, what would I love? What would I love? What would I love for my life? Because in the absence of a direction of where we want to go, we're going to do the same things we've always done and continue old patterns. And when we have a clear, crystal clear vision of what we would love, where we would love to go, what we want to accomplish, the things that we want to do, that vision informs everything. It influences my thinking, my feelings, it informs my actions, and it creates more beautiful results for my life. When you've got a powerful vision for a life you love, that vision will help you apply every key that we've learned today. So having a really clear picture, a well-developed vision of what you would love, what's important to you, is essential. You cannot have unshakable confidence unless you have a powerful vision for a life that you love. And to do that, you're simply going to ask yourself, what would I love? What would I love in my health and well-being? What would I love in my love and relationships? What would I love in my career and the ways I'm expressing myself creatively? And what would I love in time and money freedom? And all of my clients and I work super closely together to create a powerhouse vision that drives not only our work and coaching, but a path, a roadmap to an unshakably confident life through a vision of what they love, what they love. So if you're watching the video, I want you to pause and write down the answer to the question, what would you love? What would you love? What would you love? And then I want you to come back for our recap and a gift I have for you just for showing up for yourself today to build a life filled with unshakable confidence. So let's recap. What a blast. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for those who joined us on the replay. And we're going to do a quick recap and then I'm going to give you a gift. So we covered 7 keys. Number 1, we're going to start celebrating other people. We're going to do it publicly. We're going to do it privately instead of comparing. We're going to pause our comparison mindset and we're going to shift back to celebrating whoever that is. Key number 2 is we're going to make our success list. When I feel doubtful or when I feel imposter syndrome or self-doubt, I'm getting my pen out. I'm going to start writing for 2 minutes, all the things that I have been that make me who I am, my successes. And key number 3 is to use powerful affirmations like the girl holding an owl in my power pose with infusion for how many days? You got it. 40 days. There's a transformational power to 40. Those change the neural pathways in your brain, which shift everything in the way that you see yourself. Key number 4 is do it before you're ready. Do not wait until you feel ready because you will be waiting forever. You will be much older. You will be much tireder. You will be much far in the future. Do it now. Take that action now. And remember, it just takes 20 seconds of boldness to shift you in the direction of your dream. Key number 5 is you're going to celebrate every little thing. Celebrate your successes daily. At the end of my nightly review in my journal, I'll write down things I'm proud of. Dana, I'm proud that I did this, that I did this, that I did this. Sometimes it's proud of I didn't do what I thought I should, like yell or send a mean text. Instead, I paused and I did something different. So whatever you're proud of, you're celebrating that in key number 5. Key number 6 is foundational. We're going to be of service. I cannot be thinking about myself and self-doubt when I'm serving someone else. So we're looking for ways every day to be of service. And key number 7, finally, is to create a powerful vision for a life you would love, which is exactly what we do in my transformational coaching experience. And that makes you ready for unshakable confidence. So as a result of coming and showing up for yourself, you got 7 power tools that you can use right now to take concrete action steps. And now is your moment to commit to using those tools in service of a life that you love, in service of your vision, in service of your goals. So a year from now, you look back and you are celebrating the accomplishment of really big things because you picked up these tools and used them. So maybe, girl, you're in a transition period. Maybe you're ready to build something new. Maybe you're ready to take your results to the next level, and you know that you would be able to go further and faster if you had a coach and a partner in believing by your side. If you had the kind of intense support to really close that gap between where you are now and where you want to go, where you'd love to go, I have a gift for you. And so if that's you, if you're saying, okay, Dana, now is my time. I'm ready to build unshakable confidence to achieve something new. I have a gift for you. And I've carved out some really sacred time in my calendar over the next few days for what I call vision calls. And a vision call is where you get some free one-on-one time with me, where I help you really understand where you are now. And then I help you get clarity on your vision, on your goals to help you create the best next steps for you to close the confidence gap, for you to close the gap on your dreams that you have for yourself, just like we watched in the Dream Gap video. And so if that's you and you know you're ready for that, you'd benefit from coaching, you want support to achieve your goals, I want you to scan the QR code on the screen right now. I'll also drop the link in the chat for those of you who are here live. Let me do that quickly. Okay, got it. So for my live ladies, the link is in the chat. And for our replay ladies, whoops. The link is on the QR code. Let me just make sure we've got the QR code. Okay. Not sure what's happening with this. Let me just see what's going on. All right. Then I want you to go ahead and request a vision call with me. I don't know, I'm having a hard time seeing if my screen is still sharing. But if it's not, and you would love a vision call, but you did not get a chance to scan the QR code, you can send me an email at, oh, it is. Okay, good. You can see it. Something just happened with mine that I can't see it. Okay, awesome. So you've got what you need. Spots are limited. I only have a few spots in the next couple of weeks, but if you are ready to have that kind of conversation, if you're interested in that conversation, it's free to you. It has over a $250 value, but I'm offering it to you because you showed up for yourself today. You want to fill it out as soon as possible. So as we close out, I want to invite you, appreciate you for being here to up-level your confidence, to create a life that's truly unshakable because you know who you are and whose you are, and you've got tools to continue to build that. I'll invite you to request a vision call, and most importantly, I invite you to commit to a life filled with unshakable confidence. So as we close out today, I'm going to pull up a quote from my dear friend Walt Disney, who failed innumerable times, and in fact was fired from one of his first jobs because they said he had no creativity at all. And he says, all of your dreams can come true if you have the courage to pursue them. All of your dreams can come true if you have the courage to pursue them. So just know, as you're moving in a new direction, you will have challenges, and there will be times when self-doubt comes in. It doesn't go away. But the key is, what do you do in those moments? So as you leave today, I'd love to remind you that you are far more capable than you know at this moment. And I hope that you will summon the courage to build that unshakable confidence and pursue your dream so that you can live a life that you absolutely love. Thank you for being here today. Again, I'm Dana Hunter Fradella. I love you. I'm proud of you, and I'm cheering you on as you create a life you absolutely love. Thanks, everybody.